So from last time we spoke, so action items, so we had these ones. We just discussed what we're gonna, what we wanna focus on. But so we have create a document and discussion to find our minimal set of fields. Is this for the, what was the context of this? For this status, I guess.
Yeah, I believe you can open the issue, open the link, take a look at the details. Can
Is
open the
that
link.
so? This just links to the pull requests, and then this is not. This doesn't have anything.
Oh. One second. Let me. There's. Oh, there is a issue. Let me send it in the chat. Send it in the chat. 1 second. I send the issue in the chat.
Okay, I'm trying to open the chat 1 second. Okay, so yeah, it's for status.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe high level is okay. You know, there are long discussion about this topic. You know, originally I proposed to add too much details into the status, but on second thoughts, I don't think it's good to add too much information into the status. If the user can get the information from the LSD cluster, then we shouldn't add the information into the status. But in the last meeting, we have discussion about this. You know, there are two scenarios. You know, if the user can only access the Kubernetes cluster via the Kubernetes API, for example, you can only use the kubectl to access the cluster.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, we populate the information in the status. It's useful because the user can get the detail on the etcd cluster via the Kubernetes API, not the etcd API. So, so anyway, so it still makes sense to populate some detailed information into the status field. Yeah, anyway, high level, the comments in the issue, yeah, high level is okay.
Okay, so then for this link, so hold on. So final, so this for the status. So we agree that is that to have more. Right. Then event status responsiveness to roadmap as an issue. So this is still from status, right? But I don't think we did this right.
Roadmap. Yeah, it's not big problem to update the roadmap. I personally, I don't think we have to update the roadmap.
Okay.
But it's not big problem.
Okay. Let me just log that. And nice to have, not required. Then need to finish discussion around ordering of version number update ordering.
Which one?
So it's the version update, right?
Oh, yeah, this is interesting discussion. You need to open the, let me send a link to you, 1 second.
Okay. Let me just copy
Second,
this here.
one second. Oh yeah, let me send the link in the chat. Yeah, can you open the link in the chat? Yeah, you know, we only allow one minor version upgrades or the patch versions of the same minor version. This is the high level rule. But the problem is, you know, if the user update the size, for example, scale from 1 to 3 or 3 to 5, updated the size and the version together. In that case, it's a little complicated. Usually we, you know, if the user updated the size first and then updated the version later, we will make sure the scale out, or scale in finished before we continue handle the version change. So we will make sure they are step by step. So the same thing, if the user to update the version, for example, the upgrades, when any cluster is in progress of upgrades, the user change the size. We will make sure the upgrade finished before we handle the scale out, scale in. So anyway, it's step by step. But if the user change the size and version at the same time, so in that case, we don't recommend the user to do that. But if user do it, we just reconcile the both field at the same time. Yeah, there's I added the comments. Can you see the comments in probably I added the comments in the issue. Yeah, this
Yes.
one.
So one idea that I posted here is, will it be easier? Maybe will it be possible even to reject the change?
No, you know, it's very complicated. You know.
Yes. So I'm not I'm not a complete expert if with the CRD and the CR, can you if you receive like these two changes, could we just send like, yeah, like I can't update it? It's like when you try to update something that it's not allowed in a stateful set.
Yeah, you know, from the technical speaking, we can update both fields at the same time. You know, we can update the version and update the size at the same time. There's no technical blocker to do it. But only concern is error prone. Usually, you know, if you're in progress upgrade, you shouldn't scale out the cluster. But if you do it, we don't block you to do it. But anyway, it's a little complicated. It's open to discussion. But for now, I suggest we keep it as simple as possible.
So your suggestion is to, sorry, say again. What's your suggestion?
So I suggest if the if the user update the field, for example, update the version first and update the size later, or update the size first, update the version later. In that case, we will make sure each reconcile finished before we process the next reconcile. So this is but if the user update two fields at the same time, we don't block it. We just reconcile at the same time. But we are documents, we don't recommend to do it, but it is error prone. So I'm not sure it's clear now.
Yes. Okay. So the basically suggestion is to always allow it, but just document it. That may be not a good idea. The suggestion or document that it's possible to update at the same time, but that it's not suggested. All right.
But one more thing what we need to super clear, you know, if the user update the size and version separately into command, we will make sure the first one finished before we process the next one.
Okay, let me also leave a comment here. Which one was it? This one. This, this, the community meeting. We decided to allow all the changes at the same time and document that this is not recommended. Then if the user updates in different steps, always ensure to consult and finish before doing the next update. Right?
Yeah.
All right. So then I'm gonna copy this, and then I'm gonna put also this in here. Let me also put a link to the so this is for this one. All right. Follow up with I think a contributor about an org membership.
This contributor is working on the status, update public the status for EPR, I recall.
Uh-huh.
He is working on that.
But he should reach out, or are we gonna reach out to him? So pull requests.
Yeah, I believe there is already existing PR.
I don't see it. Unless it's managed already.
Okay, which PR? Oh, the 136. 136.
136.
Yeah.
One. Okay, so it's this Ballista one.
There's no update for a long time.
Okay,
Probably we can let the contributor to raise a new one if there's no response.
okay, but
Hi,
the thing.
I am the contributor. I just joined. Is anything that I need to know?
We just discussed the status, so we are okay to. Ivan, can you open the issue? Can you open that issue again? Sorry. Go the issue. Yeah, the
This one.
Josh raised the issue. Probably is clear to discuss.
Yeah, so it's the conclusion is here. Did we link? Hold on. Is this linked to that pull request?
Oh no, is the issue
It's on
182 182.
182.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All
So
right.
so basically we are okay to follow the description to populate the status. Can you raise the PR?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, because there is a previous PR, can we leave a comment? So if there's no response from previous PR for a long time. So we are going to raise a new one. Just leave a comment so that the previous contributor be aware of the effort.
Yes, I am.
Probably, Ivan, can you add the comments in
Yes,
the PR?
I'm adding what we just discussed to this issue. This issue at the community meeting. We agreed that it's better to have more status field as the user may not be able to use the etcd API, right?
Yeah, anyway, you can add a comment here, but I suggest add a comment under the PR. There's an existing PR, but there's no response for a long time. So we need to make sure the contributor is aware of the efforts. So we are going to raise a new one. Yeah, I send a link. Yeah, this is the.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I see these last comments too. I'm not sure whether he's still working on this.
Because I want to first merge my.
Oh, this is you. Oh, sorry, this is the same person. Sorry. Sorry. This is the same person. I think the 2% different contributor.
That's okay.
So this is your GitHub username, right?
Yes.
Wansha?
Yes. It's just that I want to merge my unit test end-to-end test and that and reconcile loop refactoring PR first because in that PR I added more tests so that when I will be implementing the status reporting PR, there are smaller chances for things to go wrong.
Okay, so you are saying you want to break down the PR into small ones, right?
Yes. So first first I'd like to merge my unit test and test and refactor PR first. Then it becomes more testable, and after that I can then work on the status reporting.
Okay.
So the
Okay.
whole process become more robust.
Okay. So it's okay to me to break down the PR. So you want to merge the PR first, right? Merge the test first.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem to me.
Yes.
1 second. So this, okay, so break down the pull request, break down into smaller pull requests. Right. Technically also the action item that there is in here is so adding Wensha to adding him to the etcd IO team.
I had a few PRs elsewhere, but I think I still need to have one of them merged. I don't have merged PR yet. They're still ongoing, so I cannot become a manager yet.
So do we need pull request merged or just active pull requests? I forgot the.
They are, so there are two things. So the first thing is discuss about the task. We are break down into small one. The second thing we are discussing is about the added contributor as a member of the organization. This is are we discussing, right?
Yes.
Yes, I'm not sure I'm qualified for that yet because I don't have merged PR in in CSF community yet. I have some ongoing PRs, but they will take some time to be merged.
Yeah, personally, I'm not against to add the new contributor into the member. But we can add the contributor, but probably it's better to add it as a member once the PR get merged.
Yeah.
So there's some contribution.
So yeah, I'm highlighting here. It says well, we have at least one pull request merged ideally, or
Yeah,
filling. So I mean, there's some things, but yeah, if ideally if we could have one pull request merge, I think that will make it easier.
Yeah,
And
sure.
you don't have pull requests yet. All right, so once you have the pull request, then you can
just one more comment. We really need to, contribute to have long-term commitment to the project.
Yes, I understand.
So yeah, Wansha, I don't know if are you in the Kubernetes Slack?
Yes.
Okay. So when you merge that pull request, just ping Benjamin and me. I think we both can be your sponsors.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's have one pull request merged, and then we can
Gotcha.
get that membership. All right. So let me log that. Um, Sounds good. All right. So those are the action items from last time. So now the discussion is the pod spec customization, which is basically this issue. So this was raised by this contributor, Patrick. And so he basically opened the issue, brought some discussion, and at the same time he opened a pull request. But I don't think we have even okay. Oh, we already okay to test this one. Yeah, so I think this pull request was a little bit like maybe we should have finalized what we want to do before we have a pull request open. So I think we all agree that it makes sense to have some custom, like allowing the user to customize some of the specs that the pod needs, or some of the specs from the pod. My main concern is that I feel like the name pod spec, it's too, so the user may interpret that they are able to basically just freely change the pod spec at their own will. And I think the idea is that we want to limit the fields that we want to allow them to customize, to edit. But that's my only feel. Like, so I tried to, so I googled a little bit, search for some other operators, how they do it. And so my main concern again is that naming the field pod spec may make the user think that they can just change and like anything. And I kind of see that maybe they will try to change something and then we will have an issue. Like, oh yeah, I tried to change this, but I can't change it. And highly likely it's gonna be in the documentation, but I feel like we're just gonna start getting issues like, oh yeah, I tried to change this and it's not able, you can't do it. So again, I saw in other operators that it's most of the time the structure is a little bit more flat, like flattened. But yeah, that's basically my point of view. Again, I don't, so my opinion is that I'm not saying like let's not allow the user to customize some spec fields from the pod. My main concern is with the name of the field.
Yeah, the naming is one thing. but it's to me it's a minor thing.
Mhm.
The major concern is we should allow the user to customize some information, some data, some field for the pod, but we shouldn't allow the user to customize everything. So we should be clear which we allow, which is allowed to customize, which doesn't allow to be customized. So
Mhm.
we just need to high level. There's no. We have consensus on the high level direction, but we need to clarify the details.
Yes. So I see Justin has his hand raised. Just so in that context, so basically this pull request is just allowing the user to do annotations. But again, so the thing that I'm not completely solved. I'm unsure is the name podspec. I know that it may be a minor issue, but yeah, that's my point of view. Justin, do you want to add something?
Yeah, I agree with everything you both are saying. I do think that when you create a CRD, right, we do enforce the schema, right? And if you're using VS Code or other editors, and it can find the CRD, it will enforce the schema and tell you if you're setting labels and labels aren't supported, right? I think we probably have to figure out a name. I quite like the idea of reflecting like deployment uses pod template, right? And I quite like the idea of reflecting the sort of same basic structure. However, this is like makes everyone unhappy, right? Because annotations should be embedded, should be indented under metadata, right? If it was a strict pod template. And if it was a strict pod template, it would be called template or pod template, not pod spec, right? It's not a pod spec, right? It's a pod template, right? And so you would want spec in there, right? So it's kind of, I feel like the accepted answer which we've done so far is to rely on CRD schema validation to expose to document what we support and don't support. And yes, we don't want to support everything out of the box, but I mean, I can understand why they want to do annotations for Prometheus, and I can understand why they want to set resource requests and limits. Those both seem very reasonable to me. I could also imagine labels, and I think there's another question or node selectors. So it's gonna keep going. So it might be nice to be able to say, look, we aren't going to support everything, but when we do, we'll follow the pod template like blueprint or approach, right? Because someone's going to ask for node selector. I'm pretty sure that's coming very soon. And there will be, and I'm sure someone's going to ask for labels and all that stuff. So I think doing spec pod template, spec resources, and spec pod template metadata annotations follows the pattern and would be reasonable. I also don't think that. I think we can be like, we can have a reasonable policy. Like if you set resources to 1 milli CPU core, we don't guarantee it works. We're not going to enforce that. We're not going to get in the way. Like if you set it to something ridiculous like 1 billion CPUs and you can't schedule, that's on you. But like I think it's a sort of a power option. I think we have a precedent here in terms of deployment, and I would probably stick close to it.
Yeah, the problem is, the key point is what level of flexibility we're going to provide. This is the key point.
And what I'm saying is, I think my personal view is, I think, yes, you have to decide that. I think the two fields that were in there right now, the annotations and the resources, are probably the first two. My guess is number 3 will be node selector. But who knows? I think you should not just take, I don't think you should take pod template as is. I think you should follow the design pattern, and once you agree to accept each field, you should add it, type thing.
Okay, so your point is we don't add a generic pod template first. We just specify what field we also accept. If we have more and more fields added, eventually probably we will migrate to a template later, eventually.
If you wanted to, but I think also you should we have to come up with a name for the fields, and I would follow the naming convention of pod template, right? Like, or template, but I would probably call it pod template because you also have stateful set, but up to you, right?
Okay.
And I
Sounds
would make sure to have metadata in there, and I'd make sure to have spec in there.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I will agree because I think it's really hard to figure out a perfect solution for now. There's no perfect solution. We just accept some, for example, accept annotation, accept the label, because it's safe to add them. If we want to use any other field, we can probably enhance the schema CRD step by step. If the schema gets more and more complicated, we can go back to revisit to reflect the schema later. Because we are still in 0.2 version now. It's not a big problem to make a big major change. Okay.
All right. So sorry, I was taking notes and I missed one part that
Okay,
you were
so-
saying, Justin.
so-
So, do you suggest first to flatten it out, or since the beginning just you do pod template?
I suggest, so deployment has spec,
Yes.
template, spec, resources. I think there's containers in there as well, but like spec, template, spec. I think you probably want spec, pod template, spec, and pod
Yeah.
spec, pod template metadata, because
Yeah, I agree that this
Yeah.
this looks this also not the best because so annotations, as you said, it's part of metadata, it's not, and then resources is part of the spec, not part of the metadata. So I think we can agree on that.
Okay, so we need to update the CRD schema to get all the details included in the schema to make sure only these fields are supported for now.
So I think it's just following up on this pull request. So instead of have this as pod spec, then we will have it as pod template. Then inside template, I think,
Okay.
yeah, I think ideally we should also define our metadata, just that instead of relying on the object inherit like in another one, so we can delimit exactly what we allow the user to override. So I think it's just, again, I just feel that this pull request should have wait until we have the discussion finished first, because he will need to rework this pull request, and he already did some tests. I mean, it's not like he will need to redo it from scratch, but there's gonna be some rework.
What I always tell contributors is if you should wait if you would be upset if you had to rework the PR. In the age of AI, I don't think the person will be too upset, but
Right.
who knows, right?
Good point. So let's just log what we just discussed here. Just the name pod template instead of pod spec. Sorry, exported. Pod template instead of pod spec. Hierarchy. Then second will be to add a new field metadata under exported under pod template add annotations. That it's basically what I mean. Not like for the pull request that he opened, add annotations. So field inside metadata. And Patrick. What was the pull request number? 176. Sounds good.
Mm.
Also, you, Benjamin, thumbs up.
Metadata annotation. I'm just find an example of the annotation is okay. Metadata. So why we add a metadata?
Because so the problem, so what we're discussing is that the problem here is that this, so he's mixing inside PodSpec both the metadata and the spec. So technically, if you think in the deployment template, you have deployment and then template, and then you have metadata. Under metadata, you have annotations, labels,
Okay.
and then
So
under spec, you have resources,
so annotation is
metadata.
is a child node of the metadata, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's basically what I'm writing here. So specifically for his pull request, and then maybe what I can just add is that later we can add a new field spec under code template and allow the user to override from the code spec. Sounds good.
Okay. And also the resource for
Yeah, so the
the
resource will be inside the spec. So resource is not also part of the metadata.
your field spec. Okay, high level is okay, but for detail,
think
probably we
so-
can
so-
review the PR.
One thing, so it's core. So I think one thing is that ideally we don't want to rely on the. So I think technically you core the what's metadata.
Agree. We definitely don't want to. It has all sorts of junk in there.
So I think the point is that we shouldn't just inherit the object metadata because that will just allow the user to freely change anything. But what is it core v1 metadata? I
It's
forgot
not
what
cool. It's in Meta V1, I think, but it has
Meta
owner refs and things like that in there. So and field managers. Like
Oh, this one, right?
there's a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Let me just log that so it's very clear. What was it? Object meta. All right. Gonna comment cool. So yeah, we should also log this in here. Copy paste doesn't work. What's happening? Oh. All right. Anything else we should discuss?
The other thing is Alpha is working on the certificate. Certificates, I believe once the PR get merged, let me send the link. Give me 2 seconds.
Mhm.
Yeah, send it in the chat.
Okay. As you can see, I'm struggling with bullet points.
Yeah, the
Uh,
Alka is in the KubeCon this week, so
Okay.
he can't join the meeting. So anyway, the high level, the PR high level is okay. The only remaining work is to add E2E test. So in previous PR, the Alka had already implemented the certificate package. In this PR, we integrate the certificate with the controller reconcile logic. So once this PR get merged, eventually the operator can support the certificate end to end.
Okay. Did you already review this one?
The high level is okay, but the remaining
Okay.
work is E2E test. E2E test is
Okay.
not added so yet.
So are we gonna wait for end-to-end test first before we merge this one, or do we need to have them in the same pull request?
The same pull request.
Okay. So then let me log that. Certificate. All right. He marked it as ready for review. So let me just leave a comment here. All right. Sounds good. So we left a comment. Anything else in the open discussion? No. Then, so action items are gonna be more pull requests, unreviewed pull requests. Okay, to the dependencies, that should be quick. Is this old pull request? I think I saw Abdor here. Is this still relevant?
It's kind of old. I think we can dismiss it, but like, yeah, we should add these E2E cases into the operator. Like these cases are relevant, but the PR is kind of irrelevant at this point in time.
Okay. Will you
I
be
did
able?
commit that I would actually end up adding these E2E tests, but I'd never ended up getting the time to do so. I can maybe like add this in my list.
Okay. So I don't want to close the pull request maybe until you open the new one and we can supersede that one. So I'm just gonna note this. Should be replaced with new smaller requests. Old one name with the old one is not relevant. What's your no, I closed the tab. All right. Anything else that we want to take as an open item or an action item, sorry, for next time? Just gonna copy this. I don't think we have pull requests unreviewed. We just need. All right. So if there's nothing else, I think we can have 5 minutes back.
Sorry. Sorry, excuse me. I just want to check why should we work on the refactor and end-to-end tests when PR?
This, so you're referring to this one? Or no? Sorry, to your other one.
PR besides the status report reporting as
Okay, this one?
yes.
So here we need a review, right?
Wow. It's huge PR.
Yes.
It's about extracting the main reconcile loop function into four smaller function and also add some units and end-to-end tests.
Let's say, yeah, it's a huge pull request. It's gonna be difficult to review, but I wonder if there's some overlap with AppDoors.
Yeah. Just we agreed to work together. It's just that Apple is quite busy recently, so I'm forcing my.
So just one question. You are located in China, right?
I'm right now in Canada.
Canada, okay. Okay, probably we can discuss later. We can probably think offline to get familiar with the idea. So what the refactor you're working? Probably it's better to move forward.
Oh, okay.
Okay, please reach out in Slack. We can discuss later for this offline.
Sure. Thanks.
I'm just gonna log. Okay, so I think we can. If there's nothing else to discuss, I'm just gonna log this in the document. Are you gonna work with him, Benjamin? Are you gonna reach out to him?
Yeah, please reach out in Slack.
Okay.
Good.
All right. Sounds good. So I'm gonna just write what we just discussed last, and I think that's it for today. All right, guys. Have a great rest of